Home, okay? And it's our only home at this point of time until we actually do get to Mars, and there's a reason why we're going to Mars, and that's so we can actually step out of our little solar system because we can't do it from here. But that's by the by. Home to 7.5 billion people. By 2050, we'll be adding another 2.3 billion people to this planet, and by 2100, we will have a population of 11.2 billion people. Now, these people get hungry, okay, and they're hungry because they need protein, okay, and sadly, we already are farming half of our land, okay, and we've destroyed half of our natural forests in order to farm our land to get protein. In fact, we're running out of land to farm our protein, and so we're putting animals in cages, like chickens. Now, a lot of people say, well, eat free-range chicken. Well, Wired magazine quite a few years ago did an article on free-range chickens, and if we were to feed the planet free-range chickens, we would need 7 planets to farm our chickens. So we have got a slight issue on our hands. New Zealand, the last bus stop, here we are, okay. Our backbone, dairy, beef, sheep, wine. We have to have the wine to go with those other things in the front. But sadly, this all has an impact on our environment, and it is an election year, so I cannot help myself. Water. This is what I see New Zealand as, and we all see it like this, don't we? Okay? But sadly, we are the frogs in the boiling water. This is a little bit more like what 70% of our waterways are. You only need to take a trip down the North Island on the way to the ski field to pass over those rivers, and you cannot see the bottom of those rivers, purely because of erosion from our deforested lands and effluent coming off our farming practices. Back to our backbone, these wonderful doughy-eyed creatures that we've all become very used to having out there, and we're quite happy to forage in our supermarkets and buy packages of them and throw them on the barbecue and eat them. 1 kilo of beef protein takes 8,350 litres of water to get to your table. I don't eat beef, I eat chicken, I'm sorry. Well, that happens to be 1,230 litres of water. I'm a vegan. Okay, it takes 20 litres of water to grow a head of broccoli. But how many heads of broccoli do you need to get your protein needs for the day? And not only that, think about the insecticides and all those insects you're killing, which is pretty dear to my heart. You're expecting to have a picture of crickets at this point, but no, I won't go there. Here we have lobsters. Back in the late 1800s and early 1900s, lobsters were a poor man's food. Nobody ate them, okay? They were actually used for food for our chickens and our pigs. 2016, we exported $170 million worth of live lobster into China. How time has changed in a very short period. Now I'll introduce the cricket. As you can tell, if I had a picture of a whole lobster, it would look reasonably similar, but it's a lot smaller. Now, this is the European banded house cricket, which is the most preferred cricket for farming across the world. And yes, there's more than one cricket farm in the world, there's multiples of them. And not only that, they are appearing every day. In fact, a new automated one has just opened up in Houston, which is an automated cricket farm, so the demand for cricket protein in the States is getting high. This cricket is farmed purely because it has a very short lifespan, 38 to 39 days, and it's very high in protein. It's a crustacean, so it's kept at a constant temperature, and when it starts to chill down, it goes into hibernation. So when it comes to its 38th day or 37th day, they cool them down, and in a couple of minutes they go into hibernation, and they're hit with dry ice, they're roasted, they're milled and turned into cricket protein or powder or flour, whichever you want to call it. Just to reiterate a few figures here, it takes 8,350 litres of water to create a kilo of beef protein. It takes 8 litres of water to generate a kilo of cricket protein. Feed conversions are quite similar, 10 kgs of feed for beef and 1.7 for cricket protein. CO2, staggering. If I can find my facts and figures down here, we have 2,850 grams of CO2 per kilo of beef. We have a staggering 2 grams of CO2 to a cricket. So, we're starting to get the picture. Okay, where did I get to on my thing here? Here we go. Now, Is it good for you? Yes, it is good for you, but I've missed one very important factor here. I'm going to go over time because I'm going a bit slow. We talk about sustainability, but sustainability is no longer the word. Can you imagine if you woke up in the morning and you looked into your partner's eyes and you said to him or her, we have a sustainable relationship? I don't think that relationship's going to last for very much longer. We need to talk about cradle to cradle, which is the new phrase that's coming through. So everything that we produce, every input has to have a positive output to the environment. Is it good for you? Yes, it is. We have 77% protein in non-organic cricket protein. We don't deal in non-organic cricket protein, we deal in organic cricket protein because organic cricket protein is not fed fish meal. Fish meal in the Northern Hemisphere is no longer on the organic list, and not only that, it's not a sustainable food source for both humans or animals. So our organic cricket protein ranks in at 68% protein. It's high in vitamin B12, omega-3s, has calcium, fibre, amino acids, is gluten-free, and is a whole food you can't gnaw on a drumstick of a chicken. But it also has chitin, which is a prebiotic to a probiotic, okay, which is extremely good for gut health, Crohn's, and is good for lowering blood pressure and cholesterol, and there's a lot of study going into Alzheimer's with chitin at the moment as well. Look it up, it's CHITIN. For plebs like me, I used to call it chitin. How do we get the masses to get into cricket protein? Well, there it is. If you want to mainline it, you can get the powder in a form from Live Longer, Eat Well. Okay, you can line up lines on your counter and you can snort it up your nose, but more preferably you'd want to eat it. I actually take cricket protein on my porridge in the morning. I put half a tablespoon on my porridge. I eat half the amount of porridge I used to because the protein level in the cricket protein is quite high, which takes my hunger away. Most people would prefer to have it in yummy foods like this fantastic carrot cake, which happens to be gluten-free. You'll find this on livelonger.co.nz, along with a lot of other recipes that are also gluten-free and high in protein that the whole family will eat. We needed to move into fast-moving consumable food, so we developed the world's first protein bar, which is made of 7 organic, raw, whole foods. It is cold-pressed and put together with a touch of vanilla. To finish this off, we've wrapped it in a 100% compostable foil wrapper, which is made of plant material. So we are now pushing our way towards cradle to cradle, but we do have a slight issue. We don't have a cricket farm down here, so we do have carbon miles, but we are working on that. Just to finish off, if the average family of 4 replaced 1 meal a week with cricket protein as opposed to normal forms of protein like cows, sheep, and eggs, we would save 650,000 litres of water a year, okay, through one family. So the upshot of this is eat well and you will live longer and you will also extend the planet's best before date. Thank you. Thank you.